Source Nation, Ladies Lounge, as I stated earlier, tonight's special guest is Suzette Verdeda. And we are going to be talking about the first annual virtual summit. You asked, good men answered. And no, it's not a soccer team. You can't take them home. But the great thing is, Suzette has put something very different and very special together. Please, listen on. Call people. The good news is out. Suzette will be sharing all the great and I'm sure juicy details for some of you very shortly. And really, just to give tonight's discussion some context, I wanted everyone in the ladies' house to appreciate what Suzette is, bringing to the table. There are some stats that she published on her website, and they are actually very sobering. And it gives you some kind of idea, again, of where Suzette is coming from. The percentage of women never married experienced a sharp climb after 1980. That's from the U.S. Census Bureau. So the number of unmarried women constantly rising. In 2009, ABC News referenced 1.8 million black women. They referenced that there was 1.8 million more black women than black men. So even if every black man in America married a black woman today, 1 out of 12 black women still wouldn't make it down the aisle if they hoped to marry a black man. If you're a single woman serving in the U.S. military, you're more than 200% more likely to get married than single civilian women are. So if you're not in the army, you may have a problem. And who can forget this epic line from Newsweek's 1986 cover story, The Marriage Crunch. Women over 40 are more likely to be killed by a terrorist than find a husband. Again, and the U.S. Census Bureau confirmed that the probability of college-educated women marrying at age 30 was 60% and 23% at age 40. So you can imagine how my guest Suzette felt, being a middle-aged, single African female with all these statistics telling her to basically, forget about ever being happily married. Just concentrate on, stitching your quilts and being on a rocking chair with your cats. It's not going to happen. And this is when Suzette uttered her famous line, which drives her to this day. And you'll see clearly emblazoned on her website. If those are the statistics, then let the statistics be darned. My guest simply wasn't going to go out like that. Because to be a statistic, you have to think like a statistic. And that's where she drew the line. She changed her thinking. And in the prime of her supposed middle age, when she wasn't supposed to get a man, she found a man, and that man married her. And she continues to happily live her life with everything she hoped for and expected, and living outside of all those hopeless statistics. And it's that kind of revolutionary thinking and proven personal experience that she brings to the table. And that is why she's here tonight at the Ladies Lounge, to let you know what she's been through and that it doesn't have to happen to you where you go through life being a statistic. You too can break the cycle. So, Source Nation, I want you to get ready. Call in now, 619-924-0933. Option 1, if you want to get involved in the conversation, you have a question for Suzette, or you just like to make a comment. It's going to be a great show. We're going to take a quick break, and after the break, Suzette Verdeda will be in the studio with me to discuss the first annual virtual summit. You asked, good men answered. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
We'll be back, Source Radio Network, after this commercial break.
Welcome back, Source Nation.
Source Nation, welcome back to the Ladies Lounge with me, your host, Coach tem'ti. And as I stated earlier, special guest tonight, is Suzette Verdeda. And while she's been mic'd up, I actually, I saw this on her website earlier. Again, a great website. She's going to come on and give you all these details. And this information really just totally sums her up. She says, if you want a healthy, intimate connection with a man, you've come to the right place. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter how many times you've been rejected. It doesn't matter how many statistics are not in your favor. You deserve love. Statistics be darned. I do believe Suzette is mic'd and ready to go. Suzette, we'd love to welcome you to the Ladies Lounge. How are you doing today?
I am doing super fantastic. Thank you so much for welcoming me.
Wow, it's great to have you here, Suzette, on the behalf of Kathy B and Source Nation. And I know it's been a while since you've spoken, but it's really good to hear your voice again. And I know there's so much that you do. You have such a rich website and so much good information for people. If you can cram that into a short summary and let everyone know who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Fantastic. Hello, listeners. Again, my name is Suzette Verdeda, and I'm so glad to be joining tonight. I am the leader of the Statistics Be Darned community of women, author, and I'm a life coach, and I'm an entrepreneur. My mantra for a while was, I'm a Suzette of all trades and master of all of them, because I believe that we've been gifted to be multifaceted in our talents and in our gifts and in our creativity, and I'm just so grateful to be able to find a vehicle with which that I can operate and feel fulfilled in what I'm doing and give back to the world. The Statistics Be Darned community of women was not something that I picked. Actually, it picked me. I had just gotten married. As a matter of fact, I've been married for 7 months now. Got married at 55 years old, ladies. 55 years old, to the most fantastic man that I've ever met in all these years. And if it had been left to the statistics, it wouldn't have happened. Because according to the statistics, every time I say that word statistics, I want to stutter. I don't know what it is about that word. But according to the statistics, I was the wrong color. I was the wrong age. I was a self-actualized woman. I was a woman that had come into my own, and the statistics didn't seem to fare well. But I'm so grateful that I am living proof that the statistics do not determine whether you find love or get married. And after I got married, I was kind of, relaxing, getting settled into this married thing, right? I knew that I was still the same person. I still had the same purpose, but I felt like I needed to do it a little differently now that I have a partner. And so I kind of asked the universe and asked who I call God, what should I do? And all I could hear in my mind was, if you can be your way through it, you can find your way to it. And so I said, okay, then the answer is in me being. And in my being was relaxing in what lifed me, relaxing in what renewed me and regenerated me. So I started reading books that I enjoyed and listening to empowering seminars. I love that. Different audios that I had downloaded. And I was just listening to some very uplifting things that women were doing. Women on the Edge of Evolution, Claire Zamet's group, the Feminine Power Movement. I just started listening to some different things and reading some great books, something I had not done in a while. And I was listening to what these ladies were doing, and I noticed they were giving back in such significant ways that was making the world a better place. And so I looked at my website and I said, you know what? I talk about products and services. I said, but there's nothing that I'm offering substantial that's free from my heart, free, that I just give freely. And so I sat and I kind of continued to be with myself and get get down to my authentic core and just kind of in my relaxed state when I was just kind of thinking, well, what do you have to offer? What do you have to give that would be of benefit to someone? And it hit me like a bell, tem'ti. It hit me like a bell. It was like your story. You have defied the odds that were stacked against you. Look at your life. You did everything wrong. And yet here you are, at 55 years young. And even though people say, well, where are all the good men? And, there are no good men left. Well, I got a good man, and I found him online. So it's like all these different things. It's like, you know what? I've broken every statistic. I've been married twice, single parent. I know what it's like to recover from a gay relationship with a gay man. All these things that would normally leave you with a chip on your shoulder, leave you bitter. I worked through my stuff, and in working through my stuff to reclaim myself, life had a wonderful man waiting for me who was ready to love me. But had I not opened my heart and had a willing spirit and did the work, it wouldn't have happened. So I said, well, my story is what I have and the insights gained from living it.
Wow.
That's what I have to offer the world. And that's kind of how all this got started.
I mean, it's an amazing sight. Again, it's all you, all your experiences, all your insights, all your experience. And it seems now, you've written several books, like I said, you continue to inspire others, community. And now we have this first annual virtual summit. You asked good men answers. So this is like, an amazing pinnacle, just one of the, the latest pinnacle in your career so far. And I know this is something that everybody can get involved in. So tell us a little bit about this summit. What is it all about? What can people expect from this?
Oh, great. Summit is the first annual virtual summit. It's entitled You Asked, Good Men Answered. It goes down August 10th through the 14th, which is starting Monday. And the nightly broadcasts are free. And it started with, I had just finished up a group of ladies. I have a workshop called the Enough Virtual Workshop. And I just finished up with these ladies, and I was thinking, well, what else can I offer, and what would I want if I was single? What else would I want if I was trying to find love and I was single? What questions did I have? Just 7 months ago when I was that? I said, it's men. That's on the minds of every woman. Either she's gushing over the latest one she's met or she's complaining about one in the past. It's like we invariably, our conversations invariably go to men. That's a hot button with us. Yeah, and I said, when I was single, that was on my mind. Men trying to understand you guys was enough to make a girl, run with scissors. It was like, oh, my God, I love them. I'm attracted to them, but they drive me batty because I don't get them. So I started out as just an idea, has morphed into a full-blown summit with 10 wonderful, compelling speakers. And newsflash, you guys, guess who's one of the speakers? Drum roll. Tem'ti is one of the speakers.
It's quite a coincidence that I'm actually on the show.
Amazing. Say what now?
Wow. No, I was just going to say, it was quite a coincidence, when I was asked to stand in for Kathy, and to know that it was you talking about the summit, and to know that, we'd already spoken and I'd been involved in it. It was like, wow, I have to do this. So it's just amazing how the universe works, and it's brought us back together again. This is going to be a great summit.
Oh, it is. I mean, ladies, what I did was, I asked the ladies that were in my workshop, I said, if you had a chance, if there was a man that came and sat right in front of you, and you had a chance to ask him any burning question that you have about men, what would it be? And so they started telling me different questions they would ask and everything, and then I started getting questions from other sources and everything, and so I collected those questions and I posed them to the men as well as some questions I had of my own, because even though I'm married, I'm still a student. I'm still learning. I still have a lot to learn about men. And so there were questions like, should a woman wait for the 90 days before having sex? You know, why aren't men up front? You know, are men intimidated by strong women, which is a biggie for the demographic that my Statistics Be Darn movement serves, because it's mainly ladies in their 30s and on up. So a lot of these ladies have come into their own. They're running businesses. You know, they're moving up the corporate ladder. They're moving. They're shaking. They're doing their thing. And a myth that's out there is that all men are intimidated by strong women. So that was a question. And, you know, why do men hate it when a woman says we need to talk? That was another one. So all these different questions, you know, I pose to these different men of different backgrounds, different ethnicities. It's just lovely, because I believe it is a microcosm of the world we live in. It's a global community, and people are meeting folks all over the world because of the internet and online dating. And so I just feel so elated that I feel like what makes this the first of its kind is because it has that kind of a reach.
Absolutely.
And so I'm thrilled. I'm just, you know, I told Tracy I'm so excited that my armpits are sweating.
I've been there. and it's like, well, what it is now, you know, you spoke about the different ethnicities of the men and you know, the different perspectives that they all had. And of course, you know, you're going to get these women, some women listening, and they may think, well, what makes these men any better than any others? Was there any kind of criteria that you used to choose these men, to say that they were good?
Well, actually, what I did with each man is I told them what my passion was for what I was doing. And I vetted them pretty much by having an initial conversation before the real one, where I was able to get a feel for their values. I also went on their websites. I looked over their materials. I wanted to see if I could sense a sense of passion in them, a respect for women, and a desire for healthy relationships. I didn't want any game. I didn't want any of that. I wanted good men. And when I say good men, I'm not saying perfect men, but I'm saying men who have lived, men who have experienced. They know enough about how they were when they were younger and how men are. But they have evolved to a point where they can bring not just information, but wisdom and context. Because I think, you know, for all the relationship books that we've read and, you know, all the seminars we've gone to and all this sort of thing, the way men and women hear things is so different.
Sure.
And so I thought what was so wonderful was not only did I have a chance to talk to these men and hear what they had to say, but because I've been a game for a while and have allowed men to teach me, you know, and have learned the lessons, I feel like what I was able to bring was a sense of context that would allow women to really hear it in their language as well.
Right.
And so I had an opportunity, and some of these men like you, I did not know before. A few of them I did know, but there were others that I did not know. But I searched. I was valiant in my search. I did the work, and I feel like the men that answered the call were men who really, really, really want to improve relationships between men and women. Men who are willing to say, I messed up at a time in my life, and this is why. Men that were able to validate women and let us know that there's nothing wrong with us. The only thing that's wrong is when we try to be something that we're not. You know, to let us know, you know, hey, we're in the corner. Every man out there is not bad. You know, just teaching us some things, because really one of the things I had to face in my own life, Tim, was that a lot of mistakes I made was because I did not understand men. And I was judging them and approaching them through a feminine way of looking at things. And when when they didn't respond the way women respond, then I misinterpreted some things. I took a lot of things out of context. When I look back, men were trying to tell me who they were. I just didn't know how to read the signs.
Wow.
And so you can't beat up no more than I could beat up a Frenchman. If I went to France and I'm standing on the corner asking directions, I could not beat him up because I don't understand his language.
Right, absolutely.
No, what I have to do is learn his language. And then beyond learning the technical part of it, then I have to learn context. And so that's what I've learned, and I feel like that's what I can offer to a lot of the women who are really still blaming men for their wounds, for their hurts, for their mistrust, because they're still judging men from a feminine mindset and have not challenged themselves to be taught how to speak a man's language and how to take it into context. So that's how I vetted the men, and that's the passion that I brought to my vetting.
And, it's again, just a word for everyone out there, again, like you said, this is focusing on the process that women can use to enrich their experience with men. But literally what you just said it does need to be mirrored back, because there's a lot of men, if not all of them, that misunderstand women to varying degrees. And it creates all kinds of problems, accusations, misunderstandings, and it's ridiculous the amount of men that have these just out of step and out of touch and out of line ideas about how women communicate. And it really does need to be shared and understood by men also, to recognize that you don't necessarily understand women, or you're not going to learn about women through TV or through, what you read in some magazine. It really takes time out to really understand that language. It is an experience. And unfortunately, we're not taught these things in the school system. So I know it's hard getting into middle age, and really trying to figure it out, but it has to be done, because we're not trying to create any more statistics.
It has to be done, and then there are women that would say, well, then why do we have to be the ones? Why come men aren't doing this? Why do we have to know about them? Why do we have to study them? And it's because one of the things that I have gained from this endeavor, as well as what I've gained from experts and different things, is that men are not hardwired to do relationships. They rely on us to know what we want when they're pleasing us. Sure, I think men are hardwired to please women, but they may not necessarily be hardwired for relationships. So the only way that we're going to guide men in getting us what we need so they can please us, and then therefore we can give them the love that they need, is somebody's got to bust a move, and we're the ones that are relationship scientists, if you will. We're the ones that's most important to. That's how we're made. It fits our biology and the way we're built. So we have to lead the charge. And in us leading the charge, what I have noticed and what I love about it is the more that I find out about men, Tim, the more I find out about me and how powerful and how valuable I am as myself.
Right. And you know what? And I wanted to, and I know, some of these things I know were covered in the summit, and it's just amazing, because you hear about these books and these seminars, and it's talking about women being empowered and the power of women and women having a certain energy or a certain potential that's greater than the average man, and none of that is incorrect. But with that power, there's a reason for it, and we speak about the women almost like, look, we have women being the employers, and men being the employees, and the women having the job position and being able to communicate, look, this is the job, and this is what it requires, and to express that, and for men to literally be the employees and prepare themselves and give their all to say, well, look, I want this job, and this is what I'm prepared to do for it, and this is why I'm better than the next person. And if we can, I guess, understand that dynamic better, then everyone can really play their role and really fulfill themselves almost in to their natural capacities.
Yes. And the thing about it too is when you really find the real thing, when you really experience after all these years, think about it, 55 years of my life, false starts, trying, and to finally come into a space where I actually meet a wonderful man and experience what love feels like. I don't want anybody to go through their whole lives and cheat themselves for what life is ready to give them if they would just open their hearts and have a willing spirit. I mean, it's beyond anything that I knew I could have. You read about it, but when you haven't experienced something, you don't know the depth and the breadth and the height of it. You have this idea of love, which is painted by the media and all this sort of thing, or ideas of love, which based on what you've been through and all that. But when you really, really meet the right person and there is a deep, abiding connection that makes everything else more brilliant and more alive. And you finally say, oh, I get it. Now I understand why people sing those songs that they sing, or why people write sonnets and poetry. Love is a powerful, transforming thing. And if it's available for us to have it, I think we ought to have it.
Absolutely. And you know what? Before I go on, Source Nation, if you're just tuning in, you're listening to the Ladies Lounge with me, tem'ti Sahura, sitting in for Kathy B. I have in the studio Miss Suzette Verdeda. We are discussing the first annual virtual summit. You asked and good men answered. Suzette has put something fantastic together that's starting on Monday, and this is what we're discussing. And she's going to be giving you all the details on how to access this summit. But the phone lines are now open, so feel free to call in if you have questions or you'd like to make a comment concerning what we're talking about. The call-in number is 619-924-0933, and press option 1 to speak. So Suzette, the summit doesn't start, of course, for a few days, but were there any highlights from the male responses? Anything that kind of shocked you or jumped out that, you can actually share with us?
Oh, my goodness. One thing that really got me, when I was talking to one of the speakers about why men hate it when women say, we need to talk, he said, he broke it down, and I'm not going to tell you what he said, but then he turned around and he said, but you know what? He said, I'd rather that she talk than be silent. He said, because, and I was like, you know what, you're right, because when a woman goes silent, it ain't going to be good. And he laughed, but then he brought a deeper perspective. He said, I need her voice, the sound of her voice.
Wow.
That's who she is. So when she goes silent, that means she's disappeared.
Wow.
And that was so powerful. He started talking about how her presence, her sound, her voice, what it does for him as a man, what it does when he hears it, that it's her presence, it's her fragrance in his life. And when she's silent, he's being denied that fragrance. So even though we need to talk, it's like, da-da-da, he'd rather she keep talking, because if she's talking, she's present. That, Lord tem'ti, I'm telling you, that one, oh my God. I was like, oh God, oh my. And that's one of the things about what I love is each speaker, in their own unique way, revealed a part of a woman's powerfulness that we don't even realize is attractive.
Wow.
You know, I was just like, oh, my God, I just want everybody to know this. I can hardly wait for it. I can hardly wait.
So, so women will listen to this and they're thinking, right, there's good men out there. You reassure them it can happen to you. So if you're a woman and you're in a relationship or you're single waiting for a good man, what do you do? What do you do in that way? How do you prepare for a good man? Or is there a way that you prepare for a good man?
Well, first of all, I understand a lot of women feel like because men are the hunters or whatever, that all they have to do is be like Miss Scarlett and just stand there and drop their hanky and watch all the men die for it. Well, that day is over, ladies. That day is over. If we want love in our lives, we have to get involved. We can't. I ended up posting to Facebook a message that said, love is a contact sport.
I saw that.
You got to get out of it. You can't sit on the sidelines. You have to get in the game. And not only do you have to get in the game, you need to be coached because you don't want to just play the game to just play the game. You want to play the game to win. And so I feel like for a lot of us women, instead of spending so much money on the external, you know, trying to make sure our weave is tight, you know, and our nails, and we're wearing the perfect dress that accentuates all our curves, while all that is great, part of the preparation is learning about men, learning about ourselves, working on those issues so that when Mr. Right comes, number one, you'll recognize him, and number two, you'll respond and be a great relationship partner. So many of us have this ideal that we are good women, and we base that on we could cook a mean casserole, or we have a great job, or we, you know, what all these other things that people used to say makes you a good woman. But we have to take that definition and make it bigger. Part of being a good woman is, number one, having an open heart when it comes to men, not going on dates with chips on our shoulders. And a lot of that takes work. We have to get real about the last person that hurt us and deal with that energy that was left in us by our previous failed relationships. And part of that is getting coached. I always say getting coached, not just because I am one, but because going to a relationship coach helped me to see the thought distortions that were causing me to paint men negatively, was causing me to fear them instead of embrace them, you know. And so going to a relationship coach helped me to deal with my blind spots and the negative distortions that were still in my womb. So those are things that we can do whether we have a man in our lives or not. And I would say rather than spending all this hundreds of dollars on the outside, to spend that kind of money on becoming a great partner. That's what we can do while we're waiting. When these seminars come up like this, be the first ones to register. Be the first ones to come. Invest in yourself. Invest in what you say you want.
Wow. I feel
that's
that exactly. Do. Yeah. That's right there. You hit the nail on the head. And you know, we're focusing on women trying to find men. And listening to the seminar to get this information. What about the men? Can the men listen to the seminar? And is there anything that they can get from this that can help them improve how they relate to women and listen to other men and how other men talk? Can the men benefit from this also by listening in?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the first person to register was a man.
Wow, look at that. Look at that.
And what that said to me, Tim, was that there are good men out there who care about women, and secondly, these men want to be known and regarded for who they are. And so, you know, I always say, people say, you know, there are not enough good men out there. And I tell my girlfriends all the time, I said, you're not going after a date every Friday night. You're going for the right man. So you don't need everybody. All you need is the right somebody.
Right.
That's all you need. You just need one. You don't need a whole bunch, even though I know that dating is a numbers game, but you're going through this just like a person fishing, trying to catch the big fish. You know, and my hope is that this summit will help men and women learn how to become more adept at fishing. Because, you know, when you throw the net out into the ocean, Tim, you get everything that's in the ocean.
Oh, you are picking up rubbish left, right, and center. Yeah.
You know, you are. You're going to get fish. You're going to get a rusty can. You're going to get an old boot. You know, you're going to get whatever's in the ocean. You can't curse the ocean for what's in the ocean. You just have to be a good fisherman so that you recognize your fish when you reel it in, and stop taking tin cans and rusty cans and old boots home, putting salt and pepper on them, and trying to eat it like it's a great fish when it's not a fish.
It is. So would you say then it's rather than throwing your net out there and, like I said, dragging up any kind of stuff from the bottom of the ocean, that it may be worth investing in your bait and possibly tuning the bait at the end of your hook so that you attract specific things? Is it more something like that?
That's good. I like that. I like that because I'm not a fisherwoman, but I have been out fishing before, Tim. I've gone fishing, and one of my exes was a fisherman, and I remember I was really fascinated when we walked into the little the bait and tackle shop.
Right. Yeah.
And he was looking at all these different creepy crawly things that were making me just squirm, but he knew what different bait would catch certain fish.
Wow.
He knew. And I think when we have these seminars and we have coaching that's available to us, we've got so many things available to us now that can really enrich us and help us, then we should take advantage of it. So in answer to your question, yes, men can benefit just as much. Men are registering. Even married women are registering. I've had married men register. Because my thing is, even if you're married, if you want to enhance your relationship, what better way is there than to even brush up on your understanding of your partner?
Absolutely.
Your understanding of how he loves and what he means when he says certain things, and it makes you a better partner.
Yes. This is an amazing project that you've put together. And, you know, we know that people do go to seminars and they do buy books and, go to coaching sessions. But sometimes, you know, there's a lack of follow-up because they just don't take it any further. They do the event, you know, they bring home a box full of paraphernalia. They just sit under the bed and collects dust. What is your suggested follow-up to anybody who attends the summit? What do you hope them to do? What do you want them to do? What do you have for them? What, in terms of what you're offering that can really help support them from listening to the summit to actually really actualizing the information that they hear from the summit?
I'm glad you asked. For people who live in the Raleigh-Durham area, I have a Statistics Be Darned dating and relationship meetup group. We meet once a month, but I also put events up there as I hear about them from other meetup groups that are into dating and relationships and empowering people to have healthy relationships. We meet. We have there's something that I call Peace Talks. That's PEACE talks, where I'll have a man come to the group, talk to them about different topics that are on the minds of women, and they get to ask this man questions in real time. I've partnered with another head of a meetup group, and what he does is he coaches men, helping them to become more confident, They're good men, but they lack confidence, and as a result of them not having confidence, a lot of times they get looked over by women. So he's coaching them, and we're doing some things together. I'm going to go talk to his men. He's coming to talk to us women, and one of the things that I'm working on and thinking about proposing to him is having a summit where we bring the men and women together and put them in certain dating situations and role play and talk them through it.
Wow.
We're doing
Excellent.
great things locally. And then because I have a virtual following, I've got some audios, of course, that I have about different topics that bring more context to the ladies. I've got one of the things that's coming up in October is my Enough virtual workshop. I had mentioned it earlier, but it's a workshop where ladies are able to work on specifics. So I coach them. It's a group coaching, but it's virtual. So that means no matter where you are, you can just dial in and you can be coached. And it's not just an e-learning or an e-course, but you have my attention. I believe it takes 21 days to break a habit. So for the whole month of October, every Saturday from 9 a.m. until 12 noon, they will have the benefit of me in real time, talking about, discussing certain issues, bringing insights, hearing them, their feedback, answering their specific questions. These are things that I'm already doing, and I'm building on that. I'm trying to create a community that continues to empower. It provides, like, here's this one step. Now this is how you can build on this, and this is how you can build on this. So I'm definitely doing a lot. The thing that's very interesting is this thing has really taken off because it just started in June. The Statistical Dawn movement just started in June.
Look at that.
So look at it's August. So in just a little less than 3 months' time, look at what it's already become.
Yeah. That's it's amazing, but it just goes to show that how needed it is, and there are sincere people out there that are looking to respond and take advantage of this when the right information does come along, people will bite. So for any one of you guys listening out there, to the Ladies Lounge, Source Nation, the resources are there. And, you have a coach like Suzette that is really putting this all together, and the support. It's not just a one-off. It's the continual support. She's made herself available in so many ways. So,
yes, because I even offer individual coaching too, Tim, for those that say, okay, I'm not ready for a group thing right now. I've got some specific areas. I've got a specific situation. I've coached ladies one-on-one, and I've had great results in their relationships. So it's all there. Whatever your flavor is, it's there.
Fast food coaching. It really is all there. I've been to the site, and you know what? For those who haven't been to the site, Suzette, why don't you just give us all the information on how they can, again, sign up for this seminar, prepare themselves, where to go, all the information they need to know for that, so that they can really be a part of this and, be part of the success that you're creating right now.
Fabulous. Again, everyone who's listening, the summit is a free, the nightly broadcasts are free. Registration is free, but you do have to RSVP in order to get access information and some other details about the summit. The quickest route is to go to my website, which is www.SuzetteRhinton.com. That's SUZ as in zebra, ETTE, the letter R, then HINT as in Tom, ON.com. That's your quickest route. As soon as you put that into your browser, the very first thing that comes up on the page is the You Ask Good Men Answers First Annual Virtual Summit. There's a registration button. You click the button, and it takes you to the larger website that gives you all the information at the bottom. You click there, And once you register, you got me with a pre-recorded opening remarks welcoming you to the community and telling you even more details about the speakers and some other information. So that's the quickest route to go. And I encourage everyone, don't walk, don't run, do a flying leap and register. Because I told people today, I said, don't do like I normally do. You say to yourself, I'm going to do this. And then you wait till the last minute, 5 minutes before, and then everything goes wrong. So go on and register so you have it, so that you can participate. If you have a cell phone or a computer that allows you to dial in, you can participate in this summit. Riding down the road in your car, you can be listening to it. Wherever you are, you can listen to it. I even have some instructions on what you can do if you miss it, how you can access the playback. So I got you covered, because I know I'm dealing with some movers and shakers out there. So I got you covered. I got you covered.
Wow. So there's no excuses, everyone. After the show, the information will be out there on the Source Nation website and on the Facebook page. But once again, you don't want to leave it to the last moment. After the show, do yourselves a favor. Tell someone else and do them a favor. Go to SuzetteRHinton.com and register for this amazing summit.
Yes.
Suzette, it's just been a pleasure talking. We need to talk some more. So we definitely need to talk. And in fact, I'm sitting in for Kathy today, but your insight, wow.